Oh. What's up, YouTube? What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? It is Wednesday. It is 4:30. It is the time. It's a little bit late. I was trying to think of a title. I was thinking about some things that have been on my mind lately and came up with that title, which we're going to get into, as always. What is up, everybody? Oh, it's Wednesday. It's finally time to chill with my people. Super excited to be here. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. Please let me know how your Christmas went. Hopefully you guys got to see the family, hang out, get some gifts, do all the things. If you had a rough Christmas, I am sorry. I've been there, my friends. It is sometimes the holidays are rough, but either way, you made it. We're back. We're here, moving forward. So yeah. What's going on? Devon Dodd says, you're the man. You're the strongest guy I know. Thank you. Linky Slinky, what up? Savage Arm Wrestling, what's going on? Atlantis, GB19, Solomon Rima, what's up? Michael, hey, brother, Merry Christmas to you and yours, from my family to yours. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, the daughter got everything a child could ever want. These kids, man, spoiled nowadays. Emma, if you're watching this, you're spoiled. Know that. Today, sponsored by Prime Energy Drink, Strawberry Watermelon, full sponsorship. They're paying me $20,000 each time I show this on screen. So, oh man, DF, what's going on? I was just hanging out in DF's chat, you guys, on Discord. If you're not on there, he's pretty much constantly in voice chat with some of the usual suspects. So if you guys ever want to, I'm in there a lot lately because they're always in there. So it's a good time chopping it up with David Tomes and Silky Wilkie and Kane and Spermy's Ass Creamy. Everybody. What's going on, guys? Post a link if you want. DF, post a link in the chat. If you guys are on your way in, please give it a thumbs up. Little spike. We have 12 people, 3 likes. If we get a like spike, that helps things get moving forward. Helps the stream move. Helps get recognized. Savage Arm Wrestling, thank you for being sorry. I got that COVID after seeing my wife's fam. COVID? Well, you got a COVID? COVID, I'm assuming, unless you got a toe video after you saw your wife's family, which is interesting because everybody has their own kinks, man. So if you got toe videos, that's pretty cool. I mean, if that's what you're into, Bridget, if you're watching this, send me some toe videos. I want some toe vids. I like that. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. What's it look like in here? All right. You guys all still there? Did this freeze? There we go. No, Bridget. Okay. Thank you. I want toe videos. Christmas was great. I got to see. It's just hectic, man. With my parents have been split for a long time, so that's always split up. And then now, me and Bridget are pretty serious. So I'm going to her families, we're going to my mom's, and we're going to my dad's, and then there's grandparents involved, and everybody wants to see Emma. And then it's just a lot of, where are you at? Why aren't you here yet? Where are you at? Hurry up! Get here earlier, stay longer. Why do you gotta leave? A lot of that going on. So. Kind of happy it's over in that respect. Michael LL toe cam, Savage Armor said COVID. I just don't want the cancel culture to get me. Gotcha. Roger Kingham, what's going on, man? That is the guy right there. Still a giant fan, Roger. If you guys do not know who Roger is, you're missing out. Roger he's the man in Michigan. Guy's like 6'6", 6'7", super tall and lanky. And you used to pull inside. I know he said he's trying some top roll. Roger, what are you doing? This monster inside puller, but like tall and skinny, which is really rare. You don't find that. And he's super shoulder committed, super exciting, talks a lot of crap. Big Roger fan. I think Roger's ceiling is only as high as he sets it. I like to see you out and about, man. I think the future is yours, bro. Like whatever you want to do in North America or in the world, man, it's just how serious you want to take it, So big Roger fan. Roger, you have a YouTube channel. If GF, can you search to see if Roger has a YouTube channel? If so, can we plug it? Everybody check that dude out. A big Roger fan. I just got on to see you asking me for toe videos. Everybody accepts toes. Dave Anderson, what's going on? Toe wrestling is the future. The Bags and Chipotle are always sealed. Solomon, meeting the parents. No, I met her dad a while ago. But yeah, she's met my family a bunch of times. I mean, she's not. Yeah, I mean, she's already been hanging out with my daughter. You think she hasn't met my family? Come on. No, we're way past that. But yeah, so I was thinking about the titles and things to go over today. Part of me was like, well, should we do a final East versus West prediction? No, I want to wait a little bit longer on that. I want to do, I want to wait until like a week before. I'll probably do a final East versus West prediction video a week before, and we'll go over all those matches. I had them all up here on my phone too, and I was just about to do it, but I was like, we still got a little while. Let's give it a little more time, see if I see anything new come out about any of these guys. But when I was looking at this list of pullers, Reno Masick came up, and that kind of, Reno's exciting. He's a very exciting puller, and his future, I think, is bright, man. Young, intelligent, training optimally, explosive. I think he has a lot of elements. I think we're going to see Reno around for a long time, and I think this kid's future is really bright. GB19. Roger Kingham says, thanks, been training a lot, getting ready for the 220 round robin in June. No YouTube, just Facebook and Instagram. All right, can we get a link to his Instagram in the chat, please? Link to Roger's Instagram. Roger, you got to get something started. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, man, even on YouTube, but just something. You got to get some more social media going, bro. Like, they're going to want these matches. The more hype the matches are, and I know it's not everybody's style, but if you bring views to King of the Table, East vs. West, if they know people are going to want to watch you, the odds of you getting a match are way higher. Get something going, man. Even if it's just a video you doing wrist curls, something to start putting some stuff out there so people can start following you a little bit better. Is my best advice. Dude, I'm not arm wrestling those stages because I'm any good. I only do it because I got a YouTube channel, bro, obviously. So I just fake it till I make it, Roger. That's the trick. GB19, there's like 5 commentators at East vs. West at 11, including Hermes. Yeah, so they just announced, so the commentators in next East vs. West are what? Ray, Neil, Hermes, and Michael Todd? Is that right? I think, am I missing somebody? Oh, and Travis. Travis, too. Travis, Michael Todd, and Hermes, and Ray. That is just going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. It's an interesting mix-up of commentators. Hermes is really funny, but of commentating entire matches, I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I love Hermes, but I'm just interested to see how that's going to go. Alex McDonald, what's going on? Drew says, Todd Clauso, what's up? Spermies, what's going on? Todd Clauso says, love Reno. Elijah's a big fan. Derek Smith, number 1. Devon Larratt, number 2. Reno, number 3. Oh, that's good. That's a good list. Tell Elijah I said, what's going on? Hopefully he's there with you. Reno's just getting started in his long arm wrestling career, says Drew. I agree. Alex McDonald, what up, son? Chilling. What up with you, man? Michael Morris, Derek, do you believe Devon is going to go to the very limit of pancaking for this Levan rematch? What weight would you guess he'll come in, or will he stay in his Hermes match type shape? I don't think Devon's going to get crazy heavy for it. He might gain some, but I don't expect him to go in like when he did against like Michael Todd, where he was pretty much like 300 pounds. I wouldn't expect that from Devon. I think he'll stay similar, maybe a little bit heavier, but no wild transformation. Through my talks with him in the last few months and stuff like that, he's really liking where he's at. He's really liking his current strengths and his current strengths and like his weight and his endurance and all that stuff. He's liking where he's at on the table. So I don't expect some giant overhaul at all. Let's see. Grizzly Casey, I feel like Michael and Travis together is going to be rough. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, Travis is the best shit talker in arm wrestling. Like, for sure. And so the last thing you want to do, I mean, yeah, you can let him get under your skin and get hyped up, but he's gonna beat you at that game, right? If you want to start talking like real shit, he's gonna beat you at that. I knew that when I was commentating with Travis and he did little jabs, I gave little jabs back, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to turn the show into Derek versus Travis crap talking. Plus, he's better at it than me. So I don't know. It's just not a game you want to get into. So I hope that Michael can handle the pokes that Travis is probably inevitably going to throw at him, and move forward with it. But we'll see. We'll see. Mike, has a little temper, so we'll see if they can play nice the entire time. So that I am watching. But Adam is like, what's he? How is he going to commentate in English and like break down the matches? But he struggles sometimes with putting the sentences together. So I'm not understanding. I want to see how it goes. Tall Paul, what's going on? DS730 on Lair is a perfect example of just have YouTube and no people and you can get on the main stage. Alex McDonald, what do you have coming up? April 20th. That's it, guys. I'm back in the gym. I've been lifting every day. I'm getting jacked. I'm feeling strong. Everything's going really well. I still don't know who my opponent is. Right now, it's not the most important thing. General strengths are all coming up. I want to find out pretty soon though. And so I can kind of start honing in on what specifically I need to get really strong. But in just general strengths are jumping. Like I doubled my bench in like 2 weeks from being like relatively untrained to training again. So it's all coming back pretty fast. Donnie says, what are your thoughts and opinions on West Side conjugate method? Do you think it's superior to standard linear periodization? For arm wrestling, okay, there's like two people. Oh, there's Todd Hutchings, and then there's everybody that follows Todd Hutchings. Kind of for examples of people that have done it, the conjugate method in arm wrestling. And then there's regular periodization, which is like something most of us follow. I would say that there's more examples of periodization working, obviously, than West Side conjugate. Also, I don't know, man. There's examples of it working well, definitely in powerlifting and things like that, obviously. It's just there's some weird drop-offs with intensity and with specification. I feel like, okay, Todd Hutchings, fantastic arm wrestler. I just put him as my favorite arm wrestler for the last year, most impressive arm wrestler on the planet to me. My second favorite arm wrestler in the world. Devon, Todd Hutchings, Gennady Kvikvinia, and probably Ivan Matyushenko is number 4. But I don't know, man. I'm not 100% sold. Just because you think Todd Hutchings, but having the conjugate method doesn't mean that you'll become Todd Hutchings. You can use the conjugate method in other styles. And other people that I know that have followed the conjugate method haven't achieved super high heights. I haven't seen anything from them that's super impressive. I have not tried the conjugate method. I've thought about it over the years. I've not adapted it. But besides Todd Hutchings, I know of like, I don't know, 6-7 people that have done it, and it's not been there. I haven't seen any examples of anything that makes me want to do it personally, in terms of, what it's created for them. So I don't know, but obviously it works for Todd. But I haven't tried it myself. So I guess that's the best answer I have. Just periodization and stuff and like linear progressive overload stuff is working perfect for me. Just getting heavier and heavier. The only thing I follow, I'll just stop training at some point. I'm constantly like this, and then I have a match, and then I just kind of fall off, and then I start training again. So I haven't plateaued on any regular progressive overload system. Richard Jennings, what's going on? Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, please. If you guys hit the like button on your way in, we got 36 people, 16 likes. It's not even half, y'all. It's not even half. Dave Anderson, still waiting for like-worthy. Dave. Jacobin says Leonidas. They won't give me Leonidas right-handed. Oh, man. Crush that dude. DS730 said, you can get anyone on the main stage regardless of their status in arm wrestling. It's true. David Tomes, what up, Tomes? Savage Arm Wrestling. Levan looking to lose weight to be able to transition better. Do you think he'll be able to drop enough to be able to get in and hit a proper press? So what I'm wondering, I've heard about Levan getting ready for a press. Now, this is a big question. If Levan's pursuing a standard press, that may or may not work. If Levan talked to his countryman, his homeboy, his teammate, Gennady Kvikvinia, and he learns to press at Devon, forcing Devon off the back of the pad, so Devon's King's move becomes kaput, right? That's what Gennady did. Gennady got that match with Devon. Devon hit the King's move. Gennady pressed forward until Devon's elbow went up the back. And so Devon was in foul trouble. He was going to foul out if he continued to try to King's move. So he put Devon in a really weird situation. So I think that Levan training a press and pressing lanes and stuff is very intelligent, especially with his wrist being suspect, right? That there's a good chance he might lose his wrist and he might need to result into something like that. So I think it's a really good idea. I'm just wondering if he's learning to press towards Devon or if he's going to press to the pin pad. Those are wildly different things. Gennady did it very intelligently. That's why I say it's one of my favorite super matches of all time. Gennady approached Devon very intelligently and had a good answer for Devon's style. So I wonder if he's going to be doing it like Gennady or if he's going to do it standard issue press or flop press. I think there's a good chance that Levan loses his wrist. His wrist got flattened out instead of first round when he was super Levan, and Devon's supposed to be stronger now. Levan's supposed to be a little bit weaker. So I think there is a good chance he might lose his wrist. That doesn't mean necessarily that he loses 100%. There's a good chance that he could lose his wrist, though. So I think it's a good idea that he's pursuing other things to be able to arm wrestle without his wrist. Smart on his behalf. But yeah, I really want to see the angles that he's working that press. That's going to mean a lot, guys. If his press takes away Devon's King's move, Devon would have to match Levan center table somewhere, center table or offensively. He won't be able to go defensive and hold Levan anymore. So that's a big thing if he starts to be on the press Devon off the back of the pad. DS says, best way to train is not too heavy, not too light, and get pretty close to failure, in my opinion. I do sets of 6 where I would fail on the 7th. So pretty heavy, but I never fail. So not too far off. Doing the correct lifts that are important. Thoughts on Devon's pronation lift? Devon's pronation lift is a great lift for Devon's pronation. And the way he utilizes it, right? You guys got to remember Devon lifts for Devon, for his style and for on top of his foundation. Should a new guy go put a ton of effort in just doing Devon lifts? I don't think so. Do pronation lifts, do rising lifts, do cupping lifts 100%. You got to remember he has a foundation of arm wrestling for like 40 years. Arm wrestling every day. Everything is built up, the connective tissue, the biceps, the technique, the form, the lanes. It's all elite top level, right? So now he focuses on these things for him, for his move, for his King's move, for the things that he needs to prioritize. Should everybody be doing what Devon does, especially if you're a new guy? I don't believe so. I believe add in some of those aspects, but there's a wide range of things that you need to also strengthen as an upcoming arm wrestler. Dave Anderson, Todd Hutchings is consistent, unlike lazy Fs. Don't be a hater, Dave. Okay. Sometimes, I'm a little inconsistent. I'm not the epitome of motivated beast mode grind guy. All right. I have my spurts here. I'll do like 3 months, mega trainer. And then usually it's like a month and a half of fat chilling Derek. So I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. I'm work in progress. All right. Johnny Dang, what's up, Alphas? Good evening, everyone. What's going on, Johnny? DF sharing Roger Kingham's Instagram. Thank you, sir. You guys go check out Roger. Like I was saying, he's the future. Keep an eye on him. If you guys want to follow North American arm wrestlers and see who's moving up, keep an eye on Roger. I'm telling you. Dave Anderson, Cowabunga Tomes, GB19. Do you think 4 months is long enough to develop one's press efficiently? Yeah, I think he's going to have a lot of strengths. Levan does a lot of lifts and things like that, dips and bench press and all these other things that are going to transfer over. Obviously, he already has a lot of strength ingrained in him. So I think he'll have the strength to do it. I think a lot of it's going to be muscle memory. It's going to be getting ballsy enough to commit that shoulder without breaking your arm. It's things like that. So I think when it comes to pressing, well-rounded, people that train pretty well-rounded, it's just a mind thing. It's just a muscle memory thing. It's getting used to driving with it. So I think he'll have the strength for it for sure. He just has to get used to do it. Savage Arm Wrestling, do you think Levan could Todd Hutchings through Devon with side pressure? No, but that's that wrist situation like we just talked about. How long can his wrist hold up? How well can he pull without his wrist? What happens if Levan's injured wrist does go? Then what, right? Because Devon's going to be putting a ton into that wrist. So does it go? You got to imagine for sure, right? Levan's been injured. His wrist has been injured. Devon almost got it, kind of their first round of their first match. Devon is going to put 1,000,000% into Levan's wrist. He like that has to be obvious, right? The first round, everything's into trying to roll through Levan's wrist, right? I would be shocked unless Devon feels something in the setup like Levan feels kind of weak. He feels kind of tired. He wants to try something center table, but I think that'd be more situational based. I think for sure though, I mean, I would put money that Devon is going to be hitting into Levan's wrist as hard as he can and praying to God that thing starts to crack. So, I mean, I would feel confident saying I'm 75% sure that Devon is going to be going into Levan's wrist as hard as he can. But yeah, so if he takes that, though, then it opens up a lot of doors. But that doesn't mean Levan's necessarily out, guys. There's still a lot of force and pressure in that guy's body and arm that he can apply, especially. So I think he's prepping for that. Diaz says, Supination cupping have to be developed, also, especially if you're new. I agree. Casey Jones with the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. First super chat of the day. Appreciate the love, Casey. Thank you. You are the man. Casey, you get to chill next to the Christmas tree. When am I supposed to take the Christmas tree down, guys? It's after New Year's, right? Thank you, sir. Oh. Bridget probably turned it off. There we go. He says, which he is more manly, floppy handshake or hot dog? Which handshake is which one is more manly, floppy handshake or hot dog? Floppy handshake or hot dog? Hot dog. for sure. Hot dog. Alex McDonald, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate the love, brother. Thank you. Alex McDonald says, LOL, imagine round one, Levan breaks out of a Jerry bent wrist press. That wouldn't be smart. It's not smart to flop press from the beginning, guys. You got to think about this. If you commit to damaging your wrist from the very beginning, that wrist is going to be kind of jacked up the rest of the rounds. So if you flop press round one, you're pretty much going to be flop pressing or some form of flop pressing all the rounds, most likely, right? Unless your wrist is that much stronger than your opponent. But generally, once that thing gets cracked back and it starts getting stretched on and stuff like that, the rest of the rounds, that thing's going back right away. So you don't want to put yourself in that spot right away if you can help it. You try other options, try other things, and if it goes there, it goes there. But to embrace a flop press from round one would not be intelligent in a super match format. You still have X amount of rounds to go, 4 or 5, whatever rounds to go. So then you're just going to be – and then all those muscles used for flop pressing are going to start getting worked. You're not going to be able to transition to any other move besides flop pressing, right? Once you flop press, you're kind of flop pressing. And so the whole time, the whole super match, right? So that it's not an intelligent thing to lead with if you can help it. Unless that's your bread and butter, that's your main thing, like Jerry. DS730 seems like Levan's size kind of hinders his pressing ability. Do you agree? Jerry's pretty thick. No, I don't think so. I think Levan's tall enough where he can get his shoulder over it and stuff. No, I don't think it'll hinder it. I don't think so. Devon doesn't believe in training older now pressure. Do you agree or disagree? Older pressure, you're talking about like chopping? I think the arm wants to be balanced. I think so for people listening, training that is not a problem. You got to remember, guys, Devon is always going to be pretty much up and out. Even in his hook, he's going to be cupping and really just trying to weather the storm with his shoulder. He doesn't do a lot of chopping. So, yeah, for him, maybe not. But that doesn't mean other people shouldn't do it to build balance in their forms, right? Devon Dodd, Levan got scared towards the end of the Hermes match, and we saw what Devon did to Hermes. That's arm wrestling math. Hermes and Levan arm wrestle differently, and they have different strengths, things like that. Hermes wasn't able to do that to Levan until later in the super match and was just able to slow him down. Although, like I've said in my videos, I think that had that gone more rounds, Hermes would have ended up getting pins, but Hermes already lost the super match. Hermes just got mentally just destroyed against Devon. Like he was giving up before they said go, shaking his head, just mad. And then that being tired out from gripping up for 15 minutes with Devon before they even say go. Like it wasn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't compare those two. Grizzlies, what's up? Casey says I think Levan will hit the same lane that got Devon hurt, attack the weakness. Yeah, if it's a weakness, but Devon's probably expecting that at the same time, and it's not the same Levan. So I don't know. I don't know how well it'll work, but he might try to go in there and hurt Devon. I just don't know if that'll work or not. Heraclio, my boy, my teammate, my homie, Hercules. Thank you for becoming a member, bro. I appreciate the support on the channel. Miss you, man. We haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Practice this Sunday, Grandma's. See you there. GB19, do you think they will have auto strap drama again this time? No, I think people are going to start realizing when you pull Devon, it's going to the straps. Like, you can try to avoid it. You could waste energy trying to avoid it, or just accept it and prepare to arm wrestle him in the straps, which I think Levan's probably prepared to do. Let's see. Rave isn't Rave the Christmas tree. Rave isn't permanent, says DF. You need a cactus or something. Robert Crane says, any chance Travis can beat Hermes left? Dude, I think Travis has the correct, like I said this a few times, I think Travis has the correct technique to destroy Hermes left-handed. Will he have the strength to do it in this amount of time he's been training? I don't know. Travis always said, he can bounce back in a couple months and he's good to go. He is older, right? I'm not sure if he's underestimating what age can do and how fast he can bounce back to a top form. Also, like, I don't know. So it's going to be a strength thing. It's going to be a strength thing on Travis' end. Stylistically, Travis has a great chance to beat Hermes. Stylistically, it's going to be, will Travis have the general strength to pull it off? So that's what I'm interested to see. It's going to be Travis's form or how strong he is right now. I'll tell you one thing though, that match, we will know the outcome of that match pretty much first round. First round, 2 top rollers. If we're gonna see, we'll know right away. I don't expect any big transitions or changes from either one of them. Right, that first ready go, whose wrist goes, who's faster. That's probably gonna tell us what's gonna happen the rest of the super match. So you guys know. But either way, it's exciting. I'm excited to see the first ready go for sure. Let's see. Give Travis a few months, and yeah, maybe. Glenn, how's it going? It's going well, man. Hope it's going well for you too. Paul Strength, I don't know about the future, but Derek surely does something right. The guy looks younger than Rino. What's up with that? Big D straight up conquered the passage of time itself. That's right. I'm only 23. Oh no, guys, look at, you see the grays coming in right here? I got like 9 of them right now. I'm gonna start plucking them. I gotta dye my beard. I don't know. It's getting bad. But thank you for the uplifting comment. I appreciate that, Paul. You're the man. Yvonne Marrero Jr., what's up, everyone? What's going on? Alex McDonald, Pradeep was saying that people 160 kg can't stand up and transition to a press like Georgie. Problem versus Jerry. Agree, disagree. I can stand up and press super easy. I can pick my elbow across my center line and get super tight. So, no, it depends on the build of the person. If they're if Georgie, for instance, if they have a really big gut, but it depends on the height too, guys. So, like, it depends. So, even I think Brian Shaw could press, right? So, yeah, it depends on the person. How much stronger do you think you'll get by your East versus West match? 10%, 15%. The rate I'm going right now, I will reach new heights and new strength levels for my East versus West match for sure on the track I'm on. Hopefully, I keep progressing and things keep moving forward the way they are. But you will definitely see the strongest Eric ever per numbers, per all ways of tracking for April 20th. So that's what I'm really excited about. I'm definitely bringing my best form. It feels so good to be back in the gym consistently. Get jacked, everybody taking pictures. Hey, Derek, whoa, are you a professional strongman? I always ask if I'm a strongman or a football player. No, I'm an arm wrestler. And this one kid walked up to me. If you're watching, kid, I don't know. He asked for my YouTube channel at the end. But I was lifting the other day. I went to like a commercial gym, and I was lifting, and he taps me on the shoulder. I go, I have my headphones on. I'm like, oh, what's up, man? And he just stares at me like this. He goes, what do you do? And I was like, what? Like, what do I do? Goes, yeah. What do you do? And I was like, for work, or what do I do? What are you talking about? Do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah. I have a YouTube channel, man. Can I have it? And I was like, yeah. And I gave it to him, and he's like, thanks, man. He just walks off. It was just weird because what do you do? Just like sees this giant guy. What is your purpose in life? Why are you on the planet? What do you do? What's your what is your thing? Like, why are you existing? Type. It was just a really weird question, like the way you worded it kind of made me laugh. Let's see. Sap the is that OG Sap the B? Reno Bacho and you are all young guns leading the future generations of arm wrestling. That's right. Love that. Woo! Reno Bacho and Derek. I will just keep transcending time, right? So I was in the young up and coming group with Corey and Chance, and now I'll be in the young up and coming group with Reno and Bacho. Perfect. I will just, time does not affect me. That is right. I love that. Robert Crane says, wait, sorry, I skipped one. Diaz says, what's your opinion on people like Georgie Svetkov who never put and you focus on inside game and only care about top roll. That's why he lost to Devon, in my opinion. No press and unwilling to change. So there's the most efficient way. The most efficient way, if you were strong enough to do it, to beat Devon, would be to climb, beat his riser, dump his riser, and beat his king's move. Now, that's why Devon triples down on rising control. So that way you can't go above his knuckle because this is so strong. That's why he trains that. So textbook answer, right, would be to rise and topple Devon's hand. That's how you beat a king's move. Climb, 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 and then work sideways, right? That's textbook answer for king's move in terms of efficiency. So I understand super strong top rollers at the elite level thinking that that's going to be a lane that's open to them, because to everybody else, that lane opens up for them, right? They top roll, the guy's wrist buckles, and they're good. George Svetkov, I've never hooked. No one can sink me in a hook. I'm definitely going to crack Devon's wrist. I get the saying that that's possible and believing it because you can do it against so many people. I can tell you guys firsthand, Devon's ability to rise is the strongest I've felt ever, right? So I haven't sat there and fought Levan's rising and stuff like that, so I can't compare it to that. But compared to all people I've pulled Devon in crazy situations where his arm is angled down like this, like it's not even up, it's down. My arm is up, and I am like, where's Mr. Handy? So I'm gripping up with Devon. He's like this low, right? His angle's like this low, and I'm like this. And I'm putting everything into his riser as hard as I can. I'm like really bad, and his riser will not go. Like so much. I'm straight. It's basically my hammer curling ability versus his riser, and his riser would not pop. So it's understandable that top rollers, those elite guys, they think they can do that, and they pursue that. Now the press is something that a lot of guys, especially once you get you're into this sport for a long time, you're doing this 15 years, you're super successful at this top rolling or this these certain moves, that you kind of get stuck in that lane, and you got super powerful at your lane, and so they think that their crazy strong lane is going to work against Devon, and so they don't transition a lot. They don't look outside that. So that's why it's exciting to watch Devon pull guys like Gennady Kvikvinia, who have been prone to showing versatility on the table. They're top, inside, flop, all those things, because then when they come across a problem, they have multiple ways to answer it, right? So that's the goal, is to become one of those versatile guys, high level at everything, and maybe one ace up your sleeve, but pretty high level in a lot of things. Robert Crane, Travis hits like a train, but is the train empty? Perfect, Robert, perfect. Devon Dodd, credit to me on those games. Yeah, it's all credit to Devon Dodd. DS 730, I wonder if Travis has tested his pressures lately to see where he is currently at, instead of just that D handle thing he does at Artem's channel. I mean, Travis, you guys got to think. So there is obviously Travis been armor since he was like 6 years old. His move would need like 1 or 2 table sessions before the match to get his move like just crispy again, maybe. And just to work through the motions and to make sure everything's biting where it should bite, straps are biting where they should bite, and he's table savvy, everything's tip top, maybe 1 or 2 sessions. But I feel if Travis says, I put a lot of faith into these guys saying that they're ready. I've been proven wrong, though. Denis Plekov said he was going to be at a pretty high level, and I was wrong. So, I mean, even Lexi Vovoda, when they say it's just a trip to me. I guess it can go back to the way they train. Like if I say I'm going to be the strongest I've ever been going to a match, I'm doing this based off numbers, based off me tracking lifts and knowing for a fact all my lift numbers are at an all-time high. So if I say I'm strongest, I'm saying it per actual number, like factual information, mixed on top of that, mixed with tables and pulling with certain people and understanding how I pull with them. So it's a mixture of those things. So when these guys who've been doing this longer than me, that are these top levels, they say, "Oh, I'm ready. I'm the strongest I've ever been." I'm trusting them, right? I'm like, okay, well, he knows what he's talking about, right? But I've been proven wrong. So I don't know. I would like to assume if Travis says he's ready, that he's ready, but who knows? Who knows? Let's see. GB19, Derek, serious question. What do you do? Donnie, pick one. 10% more back pressure or 10% more side pressure? For me, 10% more back pressure. For my style, I don't know if you guys noticed, as I'm getting in bigger, I'm trying to get to a higher level at arm wrestling. I understand my length is going to be something I have to utilize better. So posting and rising and climbing and all these things and back pressure is something that's going to be a higher priority for me moving forward. I'm not saying I'm becoming this insane dedicated top roller. but that needs to definitely be a high game, high knuckle posting type of game needs to be my ace. So for me, it'd be back pressure for sure. Casual Beluga, what up? Jew 24 Supervisor, that's right. DS 730. One, you can get Devon on your side of the table. You need to press no other way around it. His arm is not straightening is why also. Yeah, like I said, if you can't outclimb him, then you can press. Now, there is some other ways, right? You get Devon to your side and you can't outclimb him. You could press towards him like Gennady, push him off the back of the pad, foul on Devon. You could, what I call a top flop, which is where you're in the straps because you're going to be in the straps, Devon. This is kind of how Levan pinned Devon, realistically, when it's pulling back and the wrist goes backwards slightly, but you keep pronating. So you pin like right here onto the table. So your cupping goes, but your pronation keeps going. You pull backwards, and people can generate a lot of power that way and get enough for Devon's arm to dip down. So I call it a top flop because top rolling flop press or flop with your wrist flopped. Yeah, so those are some of the other ways that's possible. And then if not, then it's a flop press. But a flop press honestly hasn't been traditionally. It's worked on Devon. I don't know if it's still the A1 thing to pursue due to the damage and the things it does to your hand and arm. Let's see. David Simpson. It's not easy to transition to a flop press against a guy with a strong riser and back pressure. As soon as you go forward, you give away a lot that he can take. True. TS 730. People need to realize that Devon's arm doesn't straighten. Also, so it requires crazy pressure to finish him once extended. That's true. That's true. Matt Fish. Oh my God. Top flop. Matt, relax. Stay away from the flop. That would be the one thing you get out of all this. Did he say flop? Donnie, what do you think the young up-and-coming lightweights of the West should do in order to be competitive at WAF? What are we lacking behind, say, the Kazakhs, and what can we do to stand ahead of them? You got to remember, a lot of the Kazakhs specifically have been training since they were super young. Our guys are starting young, but young for us is 21-ish, 20. Young for them is 7, 6, right? Where they start arm wrestling and in a pretty strict setting, right? So it's just going to take time. I have no doubt that over time, North Americans are going to catch up even at lighter weights to the guys around the world. I'm not saying we're going to surpass all of them, maybe, hopefully, right? But we'll catch up. It won't be a big drop off. It's just as the sport is being taken more and more serious by more and more people who are training at a younger age, more intelligently. By default, they're still humans over there. We're still humans over here. We'll catch up. We'll be fine. It's just those guys tend to train more serious. Like I've said 1,000 times, this is a hobby over here generally, and it's taken way more serious over there, right? So when you're coming up over there, you're a kid, you can want to be a professional arm wrestler. It pays okay money, and you can get pretty known and things like that. So a lot of people take it very serious. Over here, arm wrestling, there's the NBA, there's NFL, there's MLB. Like, why would arm wrestling? It's never seen that way. By select few, it is. And the select few who do see it that way tend to see them shining, right? But it's just not. So as the sport grows, as the social media puts pressure on people in North America, people will take it more serious. And we'll get more of the cream of the crop. We'll get more of these athletes that instead of going into the MLB, maybe that kid ended up being an arm wrestler and we get this genetic freak, right? We'll get more of those, right? It's just a lot more people are prone to taking arm wrestling very serious overseas. So they get just higher quality choices, I guess you'd say. But yeah, so I think over time, for sure, we will definitely catch up at the lighter weights. And you're starting to see it, right? As you get working lighter, Paul Lynn starting to hang in there. Adam Morzinski, we're starting to see guys that are at lighter and lighter weights hang in there. Justin Bishop, I know he went over there and he lost, but he hung in there with was it Mendaugis? It was Mendaugis, right? Justin Bishop pulled Mendaugis, and I know he lost, but he gave him hell. Our light guys, we're getting there. I have a lot of faith in them, and we have some badasses for sure coming up. It's just I do wish our light guys would travel more. Americans aren't known for traveling overseas very much, right? So like Dustin Hyatt, great kid, super strong. Him going over to Turkey to East vs. West, that was like his first time doing this big international travel, kind of like that. And he was having a lot of trouble with the the flight and the jet lag and things like that. So I do wish our guys got out more and more. I went to WAF. I went to WAF twice and started traveling around and trying to get used to the jet lag and just really trying to expand my horizons on what the level is out in the world, right? Just to see what it is. So every time I go out in the world and arm wrestle somebody crazy, I'd come home and I'd be like, woo! Like, it's not about beating this guy down the street, this guy at this local tournament. It's like the bar is way up here. I've been thinking the bar's like right here. I'm fighting for this bar. No, the bar is way up there. So like it just made me take the training ultra serious and to try to set the bar way higher. And so when you broaden your horizons or whatever and you travel more, then you're going to see those levels. So watching it on screen and be like, oh, he looks pretty strong, I think I can do that, is a whole different thing from getting a hold of those guys and really feeling their strength and then setting that new bar where you start really chasing everyone, right? So I really would like to see our guys and everybody, all the North American arm wrestlers travel more, but specifically the light guys as well. DS730, just side pressure or top roll is not enough to pin that non-straightening arm. Yeah, you need to make adjustments for sure. Casual Beluga says, what would you say are some good metrics on arm wrestling lifts, such as pronation riser and wrist curls? So like, I don't know. You're going to get a lot of different opinions on this. So you're talking about like, everybody's going to do different things. That's what, okay. Focus on yourself. When it comes to this, when it comes to comparing lifts to people around the world and trying to see where you stand, every lift online with different handles and different weight stacks and things like that is going to be skewed, and it's not going to transition necessarily into how you're going to apply it on the table. Set a challenge for yourself and just try to be better than yourself and move forward and test yourself against yourself from yesterday. Like really, I know that's cliche, but it's the best way to do it. It's the best way. Pick something that you're confident in, a movement you're confident in that is going to help you, right? I can break down all the movements I think are most important. You might have a different opinion. That's fine. But set yourself up for beating yourself from yesterday and that day and then keep moving forward. And that's it. If you keep comparing your cupping lift to Devon Larratt, when you don't have the length of the arm, you don't have the size of the hand, you don't have the speed, you don't have the technical prowess, you don't have the all the other stuff that's already ingrained in him with the side pressure and the super, like you don't have all those, like, and then so don't. It's not going to mean that you are as strong as Devon Larratt or whatever guy you're comparing yourself to, right? It's not necessarily the same. And plus, hand size, the grip you take can affect how much cupping you apply. There's so many other things. Oh. And just because this guy pronates 100 pounds and I can cup 100 pounds or 105 pounds doesn't mean I can cup against his pronation. He might be able to hit my fingertips where I'm weaker, and then I won't be able to apply my cup. Like it's too messy to try to do that. So I don't compare my lifts against anybody else. I compare my lifts against myself and moving forward. So my lifts, I do the same lifts. I compare. That's it. I don't. That's what people always ask me. What do you do on the Devon lifts? I don't do the Devon lifts. I do the Derek lifts that I like, that have proven to me to be strong and apply to the table. I do those. Now, some of the angles I'm hitting are the same as Devon. Of course, the muscle groups I'm hitting are the same, but it's just me. Over time, I found things that work really well for me, that apply really well to the table for me, and I do those. Right. So sorry, that's a weird answer. I know you want me to give you a better answer than that, but it's all you're getting. DS7 says is putting your whole frame on it. GB19 is arm wrestling subsidized in North America. Arm wrestling is not paid in North America. There's no way to get paid right now unless you have a personal sponsorship. But North Americans do not get paid by the government. Now, overseas in certain countries, when you win a medal, you take the medal to the federation that sent you there, and they give you X amount of thousands of dollars for winning a certain medal. So like Kratzy Kostadinov, he would, I think it's top 3 you get paid. And so he'd submit that, he'd get top 3 both hands or something like that. And then he would get 5, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever. But a lot of those countries, that money would last you a lot longer than it would in the United States. So he has a personal training job on the side, something, a few days a week, and then the money from arm wrestling, not just WAF, but also European championships and things like that. He would submit that. And so you get money from the government and you get money from personal training. They get a small part-time job. All right. So yeah, I mean, like it's not insanely different right now than, okay, I'm working 3 days a week, and then the rest of the money I'm getting is off individual training, off YouTube and things like that. So I'm kind of trying to do that in a different way, but the goal is to not work at all Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I can travel more and go do more arm wrestling stuff with you guys. It's just there's not enough money being provided. But yeah, arm wrestling is not acknowledged by the government, right? We're not getting paid a paid sport. Javier Martinez, what's going on? Another one of my teammates in the chat. What up? DS730 says Larry Wheels video where they test their strength on the table is a good measure, in my opinion. The table pulley, sure. Matt Fish says, we need to get the sport into schools where kids can be exposed to the sport in an earlier age and fuel them with more youth-specific tournaments at national level events like it is in many countries. That's true. I do agree. I do agree that getting the sport out to the kids is mega, right? It is super important. If we can get kids interested in arm wrestling at a young age, that's amazing. I feel like, in my experience, right, obviously – we all live our lives and people find out we're arm wrestlers and we have that conversation a lot. So I don't know how that conversation goes for you guys. But I know for me, the bulk, the vast majority of conversations I have about arm wrestling gets brought up to random person. Person says, I don't want to break my arm. Oh, I saw a video of this guy breaking his arm. Oh, my cousin has a friend who broke his arm. Oh, it's so saturated with arm breaks, and especially when it comes to their kids, people allowing their kids to get into the sport or embracing their kids to arm wrestle. So I think a lot of that boils down to the culture of safety we put into arm wrestling. It's like a beating a dead horse in terms of like how often I give out my safety speech on how to prevent arm breaks, how arm breaks happen, and how to prevent them. I've had my team for 10 years. We've never had an arm break on my team, and I've given the same speech to everybody. But I think that every time an arm break video is shared without context or without explanations, that somebody sees it, and you got to think that it's like a wildfire. That person, this random person sees it, right? This 46-year-old mom scrolling the internet sees an arm break. Oh, tells her son and her husband and her daughter immediately, oh, I saw this dude. You guys never arm wrestle. Then goes and has dinner with her cousin, tells her cousin, oh, I saw this. It was so gross. That cousin tells her kids, don't ever arm wrestle your aunt. Yada, yada, yada. Saw this arm break. Don't ever do that. It spreads like wildfire because it's so gross and it's so shocking. And so the arm break, like fear, just spreads and spreads and spreads. So we have to, in my eyes, try to fight that as much as we can by, one, not sharing that unnecessarily. Yes, it happens, but it happens for people that generally don't know what they're doing for the most part. And we have to start putting out a positive message, so much more just reinforcing how to arm wrestle safely, and that, yes, you can break your arm, but you can very much not break your arm if you know what you're doing, right? And so that's something I think is such a big deal, so much more of a big deal than people understand. People think like the key to growing arm wrestling is, putting it on TV and building backstories to characters and getting rid of elbow fouls so the matches are faster. And I disagree slightly. I think the biggest thing that holds back people from getting into the sport is fear, in my opinion, in my experiences from people I've talked to. So, yeah, that's what I focus on a lot. And that transfers over into kids getting into the sport and things. So if you're able to get into a school and teach, like get into, if you can break into a school and start arm wrestling kids. No, I mean if you can start talking to the school, the principal, and everybody, and they'll allow you to go in there and start teaching arm wrestling to kids. Obviously, you have to talk to the parents at some point and make sure they understand that safety is your number one priority, right? And that safety is something you're going to promote at the highest level. Yeah. Is there a video of you pulling WAF? Yeah, 2015, 2017 WAF. You can find there's YouTube videos. So I would be in the senior super heavyweight category at 2015, 2017. You'd have to go to the WAF YouTube channel to find those. I got 11th 2015 left-handed and 9th 2017 left-handed. And then I am 0-4 right-handed at WAF. Morkish says, hey, yo, what's your thoughts on Devon versus Levan? Well, we've been talking about that a good amount. I don't know if you just got here. I still have Levan as favorite. I think you have to have Levan as a favorite until proven otherwise. But obviously, Devon's chances have been increased a lot. So I'm interested to see the match. And you guys, Devon, people always say that I'm like a Devon hater. Devon is one of my close friends. Devon is my favorite arm wrestler to watch. I just understand arm wrestling, and I'm pretty realistic, right? And so when I don't say the most Devon preachy things, everybody thinks I'm a Devon hater. That's not the case. It's just I think that Levan has a crazy resume and background of being this guy, and the way he handled Devon last time. There's obviously it's up to Devon to try to change the odds, but the people put Levan as not the favorite is kind of wild to me, a little bit. So, obviously, I want Devon to win. I'm on Team Devon. I want Devon to win. I'm just saying I think you have to have him as the underdog going into the match. You have to. Oh, Bit19 with the second super chat of the day. Bit, Thank you so much for the support, brother. I appreciate the love. Let me put you on the board here. Bit with the 1999. Thank you. And Bit says, hope you and your fam are good, Derek. Much love. Oh, we're always good, man. We're always good. As long as everybody's healthy and happy and we communicate. I think that's one of the biggest things, man, is I make sure to talk to my daughter a lot. And hopefully you guys, communication out and in is one of the biggest things. Hopefully you guys focus on that. If you guys are having personal issues or relationship issues with people in your family, mom, dad, girlfriend, husband, whatever, let's talk and listen, and then give some focus to them. So I think that's one of the big things I try to focus on when dealing with people and family is just communicating and try not to be a piece of crap as best I can. But yeah. Either way, man, we had a great Christmas. Just love seeing all the kids and nieces and nephews and all the cousins and everybody, and seeing all the kids have fun. That's really what it's about at this stage for me. I don't care about getting anything myself. I just want to see the kids be happy and have a good time. And you remember what it's like when you were a kid and like wake up early and Santa Claus and like the excitement and all this stuff. And it's just crazy. Like, what are we gonna get? And just so excited to run around in your PJs, and I like embrace it. I just like to embrace it and see that happen more and more. And so that's what gives me fulfillment, kind of make sure the daughter's happy and niece and nephew and everybody's happy. So yeah, that was checked off the list. DS730 say a D handle and belt. By the way, once again, thank you, Bit, for the super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. A D handle and belt can maximize your arm wrestling strength if you do the correct left lift, rise pronation, supination, cupping. But like Derek said, there's still more variables. Casual Beluga says, thanks. And I think the advice was good. I'm just wondering, since there are no clubs or competitions going on near me, so you got to start creating your own team, bro. To go somewhere public, get a table, take it somewhere public, and start preaching safety. Make sure you understand safety. Number one thing, if you're going to go start your own team, cool. You don't even need to know a ton. Just understand safety. That's it. Put a ton of research and time into understanding safety and understanding how to apply it. If you can keep people safe, dude, yes, it might be rough teaching people and learn how to top roll and hook and things like that, but you'll figure that out. But make sure they're safe. That's it. Number one thing. Make sure they're safe, and then go start a team, man. You guys will figure it out. 2 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 2. You guys will get the team. That people start doing research. They'll put together training programs. You guys can sit there every Sunday, Wednesday, whatever, at this restaurant place that has a table that you brought your table to and chop it up. Do you see this video from Devon Larratt? Do you see this video from Daniel Prokopchek? Do you see this video from Coach Ray talking about pronation? Oh, we should try that. Like, that's how it grows. You can just help build it, man. Roy Baker, yo, what up, Roy? Donnie says, do plate wrist curls transfer over the flat finger containment strength on the table? How do you work your finger strength? I need a blueprint for iron hand. For me personally, I stand over a barbell, like a bench bar, right? I pick it up off the rack. I let it roll down to my fingertips as far as it can go before it's about to slip out, and then I cup it back into my palm. This is something I got from Tim Breslin. It's a Tim Breslin thing, and Tim Breslin has the strongest fingers I've ever felt ever in my life. Honestly, you guys see me close a 3.5 and stuff periodically. I don't touch grippers unless I'm on stream with you guys. The only thing I do for grip is that, right? And that, yeah, that's it. That's the only thing I do for grip is rolling that barbell down to my fingertips and then closing it into my palm. That makes a lot of wrist curls and things like that, but those aren't targeting fingers or grip very much. So plate curls, I like having pressure specifically in fingertips, right? A lot of times when I do grippers, back in the day when I used to do a lot of grippers, I would put fingertips on the handle and close it, right? If an efficient top roller, if they know what they're doing, is going to target your fingertips, that's where you're weakest, right? Everybody's weakest in their fingertips. So if your fingertip does this very easily, that's what? 1.5 inches of coverage you just lost on the back of their hand. So you need to be strong to your fingertips if you plan to contain people outside of the straps. Fingertips is where they'll target. So on a plate curl, your fingers are really flat. I kind of like things where there's a little bit of bend and I can put some focus on my fingertips, especially personally, right? So however you achieve that, there's a lot of different ways. There's, wood blocks and things like that, and different ways to achieve finger containment. But just try to be strong to these little tiny ligaments and connective tissue in these knuckles out here so you can get all your power to your fingertips. Let's see. Mustafa Hussein says, did you get surprised by how good Georgie did good against Devon? No. I watched the first 2 rounds and I turned it off. Once Devon got the stop and his mouth opened, so that's the end of that. And I turned it off. Not going to lie to you. But I was running late. I was heading to a tournament. There was a tournament out here and I was already late. And I was like, just trying to watch it. Devon went up 2 rounds. He started talking. Georgie's got stopped. I was like, okay, that's the end of that. He's not going to suddenly gain more energy than Devon. He's not suddenly going to find a brand new lane and start pinning Devon. It's in that match is pretty much over at that point. Any chance Georgie had of winning. So, yeah, no. By the way, what'd you get me for Christmas, says Devon Dodd? $1,000 apparently. Veronica Knight says 100% safety. I agree. Sup, Roy? Anyone here pulling 232s at the Expo? Is anybody going to the LA Fit Expo? Anybody from LA out here in the chat? Devon Dodd in the chat is going to be pulling amateurs at the LA Fit Expo 232s. Everybody's there. DS730, how often do you feel you can train with grippers? What's your perfect sweet spot for recovery? Once a week. Even the top grip guys I know in the world train grippers, actual grippers, once a week. That's it. They don't do them a lot more than that. You would think they do it all the time now. They do other wrist flexion and finger flexion type things, but grippers once a week. And like I said, I don't even do them once a week. But grip's not a very important thing to me. I only do them on the stream. When you guys see me try that 3.5, that is it. I do it right here on camera. That's all the grip work I do. Yeah. Diaz says the Mazurenko eccentric handle feels very comfortable for training fingertip strength. They're too small for me. Mustafa Hussein says the other rounds aren't so different, but Georgie was not that bad. Brandon Natali says, hey, D, hope you had a nice Christmas, bro. I did. Hope you had a nice Christmas, too. Veronica Knight, Ayo, fam, hope you had a great Christmas and a safe New Year. Yes, New Year's is coming up. You guys, what are we doing? We doing New Year, New Me? I just signed up for a membership at a commercial gym out here. It's only like $10 a month. So I'll have 2 gyms to go to. I've been liking going to the commercial gym because they have some different machines and stuff, different weights and some cooler stuff than my gym. So I'm going to kind of go between the two. But I expect it to be crazy packed. After the New Year's, it's going to be wild. So I probably won't be able to go there for a while. Everybody wants to hit it, and then they fall off. That's why you got to find a goal like a super match where you're going to have thousands of people making fun of you if you lose. That's pretty strong motivation. Devon Dodd says, Diaz, grippers are one of those things that it's all about the feel. It's about how much gas you have in your CNS. I wouldn't say there's perfect recovery for grippers. Personally, wouldn't train. Diaz says, Armsport makes an extra large one. Don't know if you tried it or seen it. I've heard of it. I have not tried it. Devin says, grippers more than once a week. Armsport is best handles is a game right now. Armsport is best handles in the game right now for sure. Armsport, that's wrist ball, right? I think. Aren't they? I forget. Brandon Tully says, what do you think Devin can do different this time against Levan? His pronator looks sick, but man, that strength gap, hard to beat that. I think with Devin applying more center table pressure than he did before, I think that the odds of him slowing down Levan. Okay, this is Devin before. Levan super strong. Boom, Devin runs for this. Devin's been working a lot on center table, so I'm hoping he can apply more pressure here and slow Levan down and maybe start getting a really sticky point about here rather than out here. Rather than 1 inch from the pad, maybe he'll start getting really sticky about 4 inches from the pad and then have more time to really crank into Levan's wrist before he gets to the pin pad. So I'm expecting a little more center table fight out of Devin. Not that he's going to win center table round 1, but I'm expecting a little more fight from Devin's center table. Also, I think that in the later rounds, if Devin does tire out Levan, I'm expecting more commitment with that shoulder. I think he'll have more stopping power than he did before with Levan. But who knows how that would have looked had Devin not tore his bicep, if he would have jumped into that press/hook thing Devin does, if he could have stopped a couple of Levan surges. I don't know. We'll never be able to know because Devin was torn. But yeah, I'm expecting just a little more center table fight, which can transition to a lot. If you start the fight here, then maximum pressure might be built up right here. If you start the fight down here, maximum pressure is going to be found over here probably, right? So I think that can transition into a lot. DS730 says, better than even Mazurenko. I bought a few. White Wolf, there he is. Oh, what up, buddy? Says, hey, Derek, happy New Year's, buddy. Hope you and Emma and Bridget had a great Christmas. We did. Also, Bridget's daughter, Briston, she was with us. We had a good time. Paul Strength says, how heavy should you train your riser optimally? Light volume work, Didn't give me anything. Neither did maxing out. How many working sets can the riser handle anyway? Riser is not a super complicated muscle. There's not a lot of ways you can hit it. Even when I'm doing programming for myself or for other people, there's basically, like I said, I think last stream, there's static. You can do static straight, static high, or there's concentric partials. Straight, high, straight to high, straight to high. Now with those two, I don't go below sixes. I don't really try to go above sixes either. So I'll aim for around 6 reps, 2 to 3 sets, usually 3 sets because, like I said, there's not a lot of variation in rising. But in all my other lifts, I rise as much as I can. So even when I'm doing neutral grip pull-ups, I'm rising backwards into the handle as I do the pull-ups. When I'm doing hammer curls, I'm rising into the handle of all the dumbbells and the hammer curls and things I do. So I try to throw it in rising as much as I can across the board. But when I'm isolating it, there's not a ton of variation, man. But yeah, I stick around 6 reps for me. L. Marshall, what up? Everybody saying, what's going on? White Wolf saying, shut up, Roy. Why is Evan Burgoyne so mean? Always telling everybody to shut up. All right, it's 5:30. Been doing this hour. Anything else, guys? You guys got any other questions? For those of you guys that just jumped in, yeah, we were talking about talked about Rino for a little bit. I do think that with his age and the level he's at currently, I think this guy's the limit with this dude. Also, he has a big frame. He can fill that frame out even more. So I haven't gripped up with him, so I'm not sure how big his hand is, and that could be a limiting factor when thinking about getting into higher weight classes. Your hand is not going to really get bigger or longer. So that's kind of the thing, right? If you're not going to have the hand size to get into super heavyweights, you're never going to have sick cupping or things like that. So the hand is kind of the limiting factor in how susceptible you're going to be to a top roll. Even in the hook, I mean, not even in the hook, even in the straps, your hand size will still play a factor. Not as big of a factor, but still play a factor. So that's the thing. I haven't gripped up with Rino. I don't know how big or small his hand is compared to how big he can get. But either way, right now, he's explosive. I'm really interested to see his match with Matyushenko. I think, obviously, Matyushenko, left-handed especially, is the heavy favorite. But, man, Rino, he's not going to get done up like Camille did in terms of the speed and stuff like that. I think he'll be a lot faster. He'll put up a better fight. I think interested to see if he tries that press first round against Matyushenko and Matyushenko eats that, just pulls right out of it. I think it's a bad day, real bad day for Rino after that. But we'll see with Rino's explosiveness and stuff how he can do it. I just keep an eye on him. That's kind of the purpose of this title was, to keep an eye on Rino. You guys, I think this guy's going to be something real scary. I mean, he's already scary, but I mean, next level scary. Devon Dodd, what are you training today? Today is brachialis and reverse curls. So it's going to be pull-ups. It's going to be Smith curl. You know what? No, it's going to be pull-ups. It's going to be two-handed hammer curls. It's going to be reverse curls. It's going to be hammer partials with a dumbbell. And then we're going to get into pronation and rising after that. Is going to be the plan today. What are you guys training today? Tell me. Now, also, let's do a poll. I love doing polls. Okay. No. Okay. All right, who's going to be? No, I was going to do something about commentating. I don't know. I was going to say who's going to be the worst commentator or the best commentator. Obviously, the best would be probably Neil at the next East vs. West. But, okay. Will there be problems between Mike and Travis on Mike? Do you guys think there'll be problems between Travis Bagent and Michael Todd on the mic? Do you think they'll keep it professional? Do you think Michael will be able to laugh off all the crap talking? Do you think Michael will get pissed off and there'll be some drama up there? What do you guys think? What are your thoughts in the booth? Do you think there's going to be problems, or do you think it'll go off smoothly and they'll be able to keep the professionalism there? What do you guys think? Or do you think maybe Mike has a conversation with Travis before they go up there, like, hey, take it easy today. Take it easy. Or do you do we hear some crazy stuff coming out of Travis's mouth, like, Mike, you're a weirdo, and then we hear scuffling and and they're straight fighting in the booth? Would that be crazy? But also, I think Does Mike have a match? No, Mike doesn't have a match, but Travis has a match, right? Travis is pulling Hermes, right? Wait, Mike doesn't have a match, does he? Am I tripping? Does Michael Todd have a match? Am I having a break? No, he doesn't have a match, does he? I don't think so. Yeah. Hermes and Prunik should commentate together. You guys, the jokes sound funny. You got to imagine the commentary would be severely lacking. 100% drama queen city. So 13 votes. Most people are saying yes, there will be problems between Mike and Travis on the mic. GS730, currently on a routine with pull-ups, dips, and finish with a D handle and belt lifts and table time when I have people available. Not bad. Casual Beluga, closest thing to arm wrestling training that I'm doing today is weighted pull-ups and chin-ups. Yeah, those are great, dude. You guys, like I've said 1,000 times, I think the number one exercise for arm wrestling, if I had to pick one, would be neutral grip pull-ups. I think it hits the most things utilized for arm wrestling, and it develops that chain, that muscle coordination of using all these muscles together. So big believer in doing pull-ups and weighted pull-ups, and even dips are really good too, guys. Dips are going to work your pec minor, things that help with elbow adduction and in your chest and shoulders in general, which are big players in arm wrestling, way bigger than people think. Morkish says, what should you do if your test levels are low? Go get them checked, and if you want, then you could hop on TRT, I guess, or you could try more natural methods to raise your testosterone production. You could try working out your legs more, which release more testosterone. You can buy testosterone boosters from the store. You could, I know there's way more natural foods and things you can eat that are supposed to boost testosterone. You do it that way. Your call, man. Depends on your lifestyle and what you're trying to pursue and how old you are, you know. Veronica Knight, sorry, Marshall was trying to push the reaction button. Dave Anderson, Mike is way too easy to pick on. Is he? Mike just wears his heart on his sleeve. I like Mike. I like that Mike is you know what you're getting with Mike, and I can appreciate that. It's not a lot of behind the scenes like trickery and like scheming and things like that where you don't really know what he's thinking. I like people that when I can talk to them, I understand they're pretty straight up, and so I like that about Mike. Donnie, I'm doing cup today with wrist wrench, dumbbells, and wrist max. I don't like wrist wrenches or wrist maxes, personally. Does Denayar, Roman, or Rino have more potential? Well, I don't know much about the first guy, so I'm going to say Rino, but only because I don't know much about the first guy. So I'll have to do some research. If you can, Eton, send me some videos of the other guy or highlight reels into Instagram. If you could DM me on Instagram, it's just AW Derek, same thing. I'd love to see some more videos on the other guy. Don't waste money on test boosters, says Devon Dodd. Yeah, I don't know if they work. I've never taken them, so I'm not sure. Bacho versus Reno. Now that would be a match I'd like to see. Although Reno's a lot bigger than Bacho. I know he's a lot bigger. Is he a lot heavier? How heavy is Bacho right now? You know, Reno has to be significantly heavier too, right? I thought wrist wrench is gold standard for arm wrestling. One, you're holding on. That means you have to clamp down with your fingers at all times. And there's a lot of situations in arm wrestling where you're not holding on, squeezing as tight as you can. So Devon's answer would be I get one with a strap. That still binds you to the handle. That's the only thing I like, but I don't like. I like free spinning handles. I like free spinning handles because I can position my hand the way I could reposition my hand on someone's hand, right? I can go more knuckles up or focus on putting index finger pressure in the cupping. I'm not squeezing it and have to utilize my fingers at all times and squeeze as tight as I can. That's the part that kind of falls off for me. I like regular spinning handles because I can still get the full cup in, but I can reposition my hand in different ways to apply the cupping in different areas. But probably the best handle would be Devon's multi-spinner. But the wrist wrench, I'm not a fan of. Not a fan. Captain Obvious, you'll hear Rebecca calming down Mike in the background, then classic shut up. Morkish says, speaking of Bacho, who would win, him or Devon's son? Oh, Bacho. Oh, Bacho would. I love Auden and Milo, but even they would no. Bacho's real deal, real like elite. Casual Beluga says probably Bacho at the moment. The Schmo says 2 egomaniacs on the mic and one that'll constantly poke fun at the other in a public setting. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. Dave Anderson, eat beef and exercise and testosterone goes up on most. Diaz says D handle with 3 attachments, just like Mazurenko sells it. Cone rolling and eccentric should cover most angles. Yes and no. White Wolf says today's training 100 rep cat curls, weighted dead hangs, 45-pound plate toss, and catch for reps. Trying to outrun the neighbor's dog, climbing the oak tree to get that squirrel. Sounds like a productive day, White Wolf. Sounds like a productive day. Paul Strength says Bacho is way ahead of Auden and is not natty, so it's not fair comparison, to be honest. I agree. Well, I'm assuming I don't like to assume anybody's on gear unless they've outed and said it themselves. So, but there's a good chance he is. I'll agree with that. As far as cupping goes, says Diaz. Yeah. It's just, remember, guys, you're never going to recreate arm wrestling, all of arm wrestling in a gym. It's not going to happen. But you can get very specific with the strengths to get stronger for the table in the gym. All right, so we're finishing that with 25 votes. 68% of the people said yes, there will be problems, and 32% say no, they will keep it professional. This is professional East versus West. There's no way they're going to have a problem on the mic. Thank you guys for voting. Let's see. Drop my bike, so 920-pound deadlift. Diaz says Mazurenko sells a D handle, even with those 3 holes, hit more cupping with supination, pronation. Donnie, if people assume Bacho is on roids, then why don't they say the same about Rino? Both compete at WAF. Oh, true. There's definitely guys that run gear that compete at WAF. I'll tell you this for a fact. I know this from talking with guys that are the heads of federations, the guys that are multiple WAF world champions. I've heard it from their mouths. So I can't speak to the exact number or the percentage of people that run gear at WAF, but there are definitely people that take gear and go to WAF. Either they take it early in the year and cycle off so they get tested clean, or they take things that they don't test for. But definitely there are people that run things going to WAF. For sure, 100% for sure. Now, I think it's disrespectful. I think that if you take stuff and you're going to a place that's tested, it's straight cheating. Like you're straight up 100% cheating. If you're doing it at events and things that don't test, that don't fight against it, it's not cheating. It's par for the course. It's part of the game. But if I would never take things and go to WAF personally. I guess maybe in other countries, if you're getting paid, I guess there's incentive to do the dirty and try to cheat like that. But especially for North Americans, guys, like we're going over there, we're not getting paid. You get gold, it doesn't matter in terms of your wallet. It's just like it's supposed to be this tested thing, so I think we should embrace that. So when I hear from people, especially if I hear from North Americans, like, and I know they're taking stuff and they plan to go to WAF, I'm like, why? You know, like I don't know, man. It just embrace that part. So trust. Maybe, potentially, and I can't speak for sure, that most of the top countries that are getting paid from WAF, that get paid gold medals, those guys are probably running stuff. I mean, I can't say for sure. I've said in the past, I know people have ran stuff. They would tell me what they're running when they go to WAF, and these are world champions. So, but, yeah, they can't test for everything. The testing's super expensive. They can't test everyone, so people get away with a lot of stuff. It kind of sucks to say. So, if you go to WAF, I would say go and do the best you can. Place the best you can. I think most of the countries are still natty. I do think most of the countries going to WAF are still natty. I do believe that. I just believe that the very top guys are taking stuff at WAF. Top. So aim for top 10 like I did. I was hyped to get 9th place. Hyped. Super hyped. I'm not saying everybody above me was blasting gear, but I'm saying if it high likelihood the top 5 guys are taking stuff. High likelihood because they're definitely running stuff for WAF. Let's see. Red meat beats gear or best gear out there. Oh, red meat is amazing. Did you get the squirrel? White Wolf Dave. So I got to the top of the tree, and what do you know? The cheating squirrel jumped to the adjacent tree. So why didn't you jump after it, White Wolf? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Yeah. All right, guys. Anything else before we start wrapping this up? When the chat starts calming down, we start running out of topics. I'll shut her down. I don't want to just sit here and just, if there's nothing to talk about, if we're running out of topics. But yeah, besides that, I touched on my trading going super well. Oh, moderators, can we get a link to AW Switch before I sign off in here? You guys, hat, shirts, stickers, all the things. You guys know that. Discount code AW Derek, save yourself a little bit of money. But the hoodies that we release out there are awesome. First off, they're 60-40 blend. They're great. They feel great. And then I just rocked the new blue shirt. Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I wore it to the gym last night, but the new blue Alpha Empire shirt, Alpha Empire on the front, big Alpha Empire on the back, arm wrestling team, Southern California. I love the blue. We've always had black and white, so I really like that we Bridget brought a color into it. So there's also a black white version of that as well. Are you posting pull-ups? I posted a pull-up video in the members section. I did, guys. Yeah, it wasn't impressive. So I thought about it for a long time. Why the pull-ups weren't impressive? And like 2 months ago, I did way more pull-ups. 2 months ago, or 2 or 3 months ago, when I did pull-ups, they were like right here. At my gym, my pull-up bar is way out here. And so I never really thought about how big of a difference that can make. But yeah, the ones I did when I did like 8 a few months ago, and I still had more in the tank, and they were dead hang. They were from right here, but my pull-up bar is way out here and straight. So I didn't know how big of a deal that is, but I think that's a pretty big deal in terms of how much force you can apply. But yeah, I put it out there for the members. I'm gonna be posting more and more members-only content, you guys. I think a lot of these gym sessions will be hitting and putting out for members. I need to start giving the dedicated members some more love for sure. I love you guys and thank you for supporting me. So let's see. Jacobin, thanks, Derek. No problem. White Wolf. White Wolves can't jump. DS730. Thanks for the stream and answering questions, Derek. Always nice hearing from you. Thank you for hanging out in here, man. Sick ass hoodies. Mustafa Hussein. Does finger push-ups help in arm wrestling? If you can maintain straight fingers, if your fingers start folding back like I talked about earlier, I think it's bad. Really looking forward to seeing who your opponent is going to be. Me too. Veronica Knight sharing the awswitch.com. Thank you, Veronica, for sharing the link. Blue shirts look great. Does anybody else in here have a YouTube channel we can post in the chat for everybody else to see? DF, please post the discount or the Discord links too. Oh, guys, by the way, I didn't even mention this. On Discord, there's a Discord server called Polar Public. It is the number one. It's the biggest Discord server for arm wrestling. Right? There's a million people in there. There is now a section for coaching, and so I'm going to be doing weekly seminars in there. The seminar will go about an hour. It'll be 30 minutes of me talking about a particular topic and 30 minutes of Q&A. You go in there, basically, it's like called a stage. I'll be talking, and then if you want to talk, you click the button that says raise your hand. I'll click on you. You come in there, you ask the question, and then you'll get muted again, and I'll answer your question, right? But I'll be doing those every week. I haven't released a schedule yet, which time of which day I'll be doing it, but every week I'll be in there. I did it last week. It went really well. So moving forward, if you guys have questions or you want some training, that's where it's going to be at. It is going to be paid. It'll probably be we haven't decided on an exact price, maybe 10 to 20. It'd be somewhere $10 to $20 a month or so. But they're also going to bring in other coaches and other people to give out seminars and speak in there. So if you guys are looking for some more one-on-one type training advice and things like that, that's where you can find me. But it'll be in a Discord server called Polar Public. Thank you, DF. You just shared the link right there. That's where you guys can find me coaching. Now, I also do the individual coaching. I'm still working with some people. I'm working with 2 people right now for individual coaching, but that's a little different. Let's see. Get some. Thank you for answering my questions, Big D. You're a good person. No, Donnie, you're a good person. What's your top pull-up record? I think like 10 ever. Do you think this strap will play a big part in the Paul and Irakli match? Yes, it's for sure going to be straps. Paul will not be able to contain Irakli. I would be mind blown if Paul can contain Irakli. So pretty sure it'll be a strap match. Discord, a different monster. Go check it out. Who are 3 guys you want to pull? 3 guys I want to pull. Off the top of my head, first, I still want to pull Todd Hutchings. I want to crush Leonidas. I don't know. It's hard to. That's like spur of the moment, like just because the Larry thing. I want to. So I've always wanted to pull Todd Hutchings. I want to pull Leonidas, but those guys are pretty small. And I definitely at some point still want to have the match with Corey West. I don't know. So those matches pop in my head right when you ask that question, but I'm sure I can go way deeper and answer that with more names. But those pop up into my head right away. Discord, a weird and magical animal. Okay, guys. Well, we gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go get ready to go to the gym. I'm starting to get vascular. It's getting there. It's getting there. Do you think buckle side of the strap will play a part in a match with the Rock Lee and Paul? I meant to ask. You guys, buckle side of the strap is right now it's more of a myth. Back in the day when the strap was put on differently, it made a big difference. Right now, as long as you don't let your hand get sucked underneath, if you have the buckle, they tighten it on your side. So as long as you drive your webbing up as they tighten it, so you don't get sucked underneath the guy's hand when they tighten it, then everything's fair. Now, the problem is whoever has the buckle, the referee is staring at your wrist. On the other side, the down referee is looking at your elbows and shoulder placement. They're not as hardcore about the wrist. So the guy with the buckle cannot cheat, cannot get any cupping in. The guy without the buckle can cheat a lot more. That's the biggest difference between having the buckle and not having the buckle, is that the up ref is staring at your wrist. The down ref is not as crazy about the wrist. You can cheat way more with the back of your wrist facing the down ref than you can with your wrist facing the up ref, right? Benefits to having the buckle, being on the buckle side, though, is you get to determine the tightness more. You get to say, I want it tighter, tighter, tighter. So if you're someone like Devon or something like that, he might not hate that so much, although he likes to cheat. He likes to fight for advantages in the setup. So I don't know, but Devon likes a tight strap as well. Okay. Says good night. Much love, big hugs. All squeeze grandma. Get it, Cap. Yes, ma'am. Veronica, miss you out here. Things about Rock Lee and Rustam match. Thinking about a Rock Lee and Rustam match. Sucks that Rustam got hurt. Set me up a super match at the Expo. Someone from NorCal. Oh yeah, Devon, you ready? Thank you for sharing the link tree, Veronica. That's linked to all the social media, guys. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, all the things, the links are all in there, and what Veronica just shared. All the sponsors as well. Discount code AWDerek. Also, I always forget. Veronica, can you also share the link to NatFit Nation, you guys, for NatFit? NatFit is my supplement sponsor. Jamie Sheldon is always taking care of me. It is a supplement brand ran by an arm wrestler. So if you guys are trying to buy supplements, protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, all the things, you guys obviously check out natfitnation.com. Discount code AWDerek. Save yourself a little bit of money. I take that. I take it every day. NatFit stuff. So basically, if you want to be 6'8", take NatFit. Oh, the net guys, we're trying to get rid of it. It's going away slowly. It's going away. So I'm a big believer in NatFit, guys. Go check out Jamie Sheldon. He's the man. He's the guy. He's the whole reason I'm into arm wrestling. I probably would have fallen off and not been into arm wrestling if it weren't for Jamie. So that's my boy. All right. I can't think of anything else to talk about. I think that's everything. I covered it all. I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to close the chat down now. And, one more thing. Paul Lynn and Brandon Allen both said they were down to start the new podcast with me. I want to call it We Are the West, something like that. Brandon Allen's super funny. Paul Lynn's super knowledgeable and funny, and have a lot of fun with both those guys. We're going to find a time. We're looking for a slot. I got to find a slot where we can all be available that time and that day and do a show. But I plan to do a We Are the West. I'll be going over Reddit the way I did with the Pulse. So we'll have constant topics and things to talk about, but we can also bring on other guests and things like that. But I think that's a good crew. I think me, Brandon, and Paul Lynn will be a fun show. I do think so. Brandon's wild. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. So I think that's going to be a really cool show. I just got to find the right timing for it. We got to work it out. But look forward to that coming. The name, We Are the West, Team West, something like, I think that's, Brandon's pretty pro-America. So is Paul. So am I. So I think it's something along those lines. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I will talk to you later. Love you guys to death. See you next Wednesday for sure. If we don't announce something earlier, you guys love arm wrestling, train hard, be the best person you can be. 2 heads are better than one. Be a good person. See you guys later. Bye.